Hey everyone. It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, I guess it always has. But Comic-Con has come and gone, so it's finally time to start talking about that shit. There's been a lot of announcements and exciting stuff. I mean, not the best Comic-Con ever, but there's always at least a couple things that keep me interested, so I have the list of what I want to talk about. It's not going to be everything, obviously, and it's mostly stuff that I'm going to be interested in. I tried to make it mostly new stuff, because a lot of this year was just like new seasons of shows, like this is announced, this is announced. But I'm going to mostly keep to like new things that have been announced, and a couple new seasons that I'm really excited for. So yeah, this is probably going to be a two-parter because I'm still recording on my camcorder here. But I'm going to get a new SD card like right now, and then I could finally start going back to the DSLR like God intended. And the only other thing is I'm going to separate movies and TV, and then I'm going to do animation for final like normal. And EVO is going to happen this weekend, so I'll definitely be doing an EVO video for fighting game announcements and all that shit. And I'm probably going to talk a little more Smash and what I think about the DLC in that video, just to put it all in one. So, yeah. With that, let's get started. First off, let's talk about Phase 4. That shot probably looks horrible because I can't see it. But let's just talk about Phase 4 because they have a lot. They just dropped a whole shit ton. So the Black Widow movie, I'm happy it's finally happening. But I'm a little worried about it. Like, it's one of those movies that should have happened long, long ago. And the fact that it's happening now could be, it might be a little hard to stand out, but Marvel's been pretty good at that recently, so I'm hoping it's good. But the next one, Eternals, it's probably going to be the hardest sell Marvel's ever done. Because even with Thanos, like, yeah, they completely changed his character, but, I mean, at least it was one. We're talking about a whole group of characters that are basically gods, and we're supposed to find them interesting and like them. I mean, you can do it, but I'm just saying that the last time Marvel tried to do this, it was the Inhumans, and that did not go over well. So I hope it's good, but I'm not super excited for it at the moment. Then there's Shang-Chi, which is another one that's probably going to be a bit of a hard sell, but hey, it's going to be mostly a martial arts movie, so that could be cool. They're trying to mix around with different genres. The last time they did a magical kung fu character, we got the Iron Fist, and that also sucked. But since it's mostly going to be an all-Asian cast, I'm hopeful that will do good, and I'm a little more excited for this than I am the Eternals. But the most hyped movie that I saw on this list would definitely be Doctor Strange 2. I do have a couple quarrels with it, though, that we'll get to in a sec. But I'm just excited because, first of all, multiverse is going to be a thing, so they're finally going to tap into that, because I feel like that's the next big thing. So hopefully, besides this movie, they'll start doing that stuff, because if they just wait, I mean, this is going to be the hardest years of Marvel. Like, their golden age is pretty much done, so they got to do this shit right, or they're going to sink. But I'm really excited for this movie, because it's supposed to be horror. This is their first, like, separate horror film. It's going to be, like, psychological and shit, so this has a lot of potential, but I do have two things. One, is Mordo going to be in it? And if you don't know who Mordo is, he's the guy who was in the first movie who sort of became evil at the end, and he has cliffhanger scene at the post-credits where he's like, too many sorcerers, and he's like taking magic from people. So, is he gonna be in the movie? Because he's just been, you know, out in the world, probably doing stuff for like years now. And like, we kind of forgot about him, but I hope, I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world, but I do hope that he is brought up and he is a part of the movie in some way or form, because Marvel loves their continuity. And if they would screw something like this up, that would probably suck. But I'm excited for the rest of the movie, and the other thing, Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in this, and it's supposed to tie in to the Disney Plus show. I don't know how well it's going to tie into it. I mean, this is the first time they're trying to do this stuff, but honestly, that goes into like my thoughts on Disney Plus and all the shows that are there. I like most of the ideas, but I just am not sold on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's got all the Marvel and Disney movies, but like, there were a lot of them on Netflix already that are probably going to get booted off it. I mean, they'd have to be like really high quality shows. We need to see them in person before I can just buy a subscription service. So it's gonna be tricky. But out of those shows, what if this is gonna be like a full-on series, sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. So what I'm guessing, I don't know if they did like a part of the panel on it, but I'm guessing it's just like every episode is a different scenario of like, what if this character was this and that? Like an Elseworld thing, which could be pretty damn cool. And I'm happy Marvel's already experimenting with this kind of shit, because they need to spice up the game, like I've already mentioned. Big shocker for me was Thor #4, God, I know, Love and Thunder, I think. It's another Thor movie that's going to be with Taika Waititi as the director, and Valkyrie's going to be a big part of it. So that changes a lot of preconceptions. Like, I kind of thought that Thor's ending was going to be in Guardians 3, but it all depends on like the release order. Like, I assume Guardians 3 is going to be before that, but I might be wrong, because that was the last thing he was doing. But I am super hyped for that movie too. They didn't like say a release date, but they did mention that it exists. So I hope it happens soon. I would guess like 2021 or maybe late next year, but really, if they need to delay it, make them delay it as long as they need to, because I do not want that movie screwed up, especially after that controversy. But I'm hopeful that it will still be a good movie. And to wrap it all up, Blade is coming back. Now, is he going to have a movie, or is he going to be a character in another movie? Because, like, making a Blade remake makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like, because the original Blade's a good movie, but like with how big the MCU's gotten, I don't. They're gonna have to change it up for a Blade movie if they decide to do that. So my thoughts for the Phase 4 overall is, there's a few movies I'm super excited for, but like, majority of Phase 4, they're gonna have to win me and the rest of us over. Like, I mean, I would have been satisfied with Endgame being the actual finale, but, you know, if they want to keep doing stuff, go right ahead. Personally, I don't know why there isn't a Squirrel Girl movie yet, but, you know, it is what it is. One day, Squirrel Girl. Anyway, let's get on to other movies and TV and all that stuff, because Marvel's got a lot, but there's also other shit. So, I don't know if this counts, but it got out like around the same time. The Cats trailer came out because the Cats movie exists. And, yeah, I'm a musical theater person, if you people didn't know that. So I got like a connection with Cats, and I like it fine, but a movie, really? I mean, yes. Like everyone said, shit looks disturbing, especially when they move and bounce. But one thing that not a lot of people brought up is that Mr. Idris Elba as Magical Mr. Mistopheles actually looks decent. Like, he doesn't look freaking horrible. And I think the reason is because, well, it looks closer to the Broadway design. Honestly, I don't know why they didn't just do the same thing Broadway did. Not only would it be a lot less budget, but at the same time it wouldn't be as fucking disturbing, so like, I don't know, CG is the big deal in Hollywood, so they have to make it CG on Candy Valley shit, so, you know, that's great. But even if they didn't do that, like, Cats as a story is kind of hard to adapt. Like, the musical's almost 3 hours, because the original book it was based off of is not like a traditional narrative. It's like a thing of poems, I believe, and they turned it into songs. So how are you gonna adapt that, which got adapted into a musical, into a movie? Is it, I guess it will be like an anthology film, or I guess they're not gonna care and just do all the songs in order? Like, I don't know. Like, no matter what way you look at this, even if they didn't screw up the visuals, I think this movie was doomed from the start. And I'd be shocked. Well, actually not shocked. It should be running up for worst movie of the year, but I mean, I'm sure the songs are gonna be done well. I mean, there might be like one actual reason to watch it once, but even then, I don't know if it will be worth it. So, next thing, Top Gun 2. Another movie that just needs to exist. I don't think anyone asked for another Top Gun. I'm guessing Tom Cruise was just missing his time playing with the boys, so, you know, gotta make another Top Gun. Delicious. So yeah, I don't really have much thoughts on that, besides the fact that it's really frickin' weird. Watchmen for HBO. I was expecting just an adaptation, but this isn't the first trailer anyway. It's just like it's like a reimagining, but it's a sequel. It's a very weird take, but it could be a good show. I mean, it's got some potential, I suppose. But I honestly would have... I mean, adapting the original Watchmen comic probably isn't a good idea to begin with, but I don't know, I feel like that's kind of what HBO does, because as we'll see in a few minutes, there's other adaptation that they're doing that I'm super excited for. But I hope Watchmen's good, because, you know, great story. We need more Watchmen. And I guess this is what we're gonna get for now. Snowpiercer. I don't hear this one being talked about a lot, and it's very interesting, because I like the original movie, but I haven't seen like the whole thing. It's a very interesting concept, though. And now that they're making it into a TV show, I mean, I guess they could explore that more, but I don't think the trailer was amazing. It could be better than what we may think, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I think it's like TBS, which is a really random channel to be doing it. But it's kind of a random series anyway. Not going to talk about this one long, because this one's probably the thing on the list that's going to piss me off the most. The Walking Dead movie! It exists, and it pisses me off. If you don't know the context, the main character, Rick Grimes, is going to be in the movie, and that's like the big selling point. And honestly, like, I'm surprised both Walking Dead or Return to Walking Dead, or whatever the hell that is, are both on TV still. Like, I'm pretty sure the zombie craze is, like, dead. Like, pretty much dead. Or not as high as it was. But you wasted like an hour episode to send this character off. And in the very last minute, you soap opera him off on a freaking helicopter, and now he's supposed to be in a trilogy of movies? Like, are you kidding me? And look, I liked the character for the most part, but, I mean, I could go into a whole freaking Walking Dead rant. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just saying, I'm not going to see the movie, but they did an announcement, and it pissed me off. But on to something much better. Westworld Season 3, man. Every time I see a trailer for this thing, I'm just taken aback. I just don't think it's freaking real. And it just exists. And it's a good thing that exists, because we love those the most. And the thing about Westworld is, it's popular enough to keep getting seasons, but it's not like uber popular. Which is why I like it so much, because, like, I don't think it's being tainted with at all. And the funny thing is, it's, like, all original. Like, it was based off a movie, which then had a book adaptation of the same movie, and then all of a sudden, the show comes decades later, and it's pretty damn good. I loved Season 2. And every time they get to an end of the season, like, you think they close it off. Like, it'll just be left in the dark. But then Season 3 shows up, and it's a whole new goddamn world. I'm super excited for this one. Can't wait to see it. Hell, maybe I'll even talk about it on this channel, but we'll see. Witcher for Netflix. I'm very surprised that they're taking more from the book and not the game. But at the same time, I think that's a pretty smart move, because you'll want it. People will recognize it because of the games, but they'll be getting something entirely new for the most part. So, I mean, it looks okay. Henry Cavill, I think, is the guy. He looks a lot better. I still don't think he's perfect. He still needs a beard, but maybe he'll grow one over time. I mean, I'm not too familiar with the series, so I don't know if he starts off without a beard, or if he always has it, but I think that's the only thing the show's missing. So I'll give that a shot, definitely. I love fantasy shit, so hopefully it's good. This one surprised me in how excited I got. His Dark Materials. I think that's what the series is called. If you don't know what it is, it's basically what Golden Compass came from. And I liked the movie Golden Compass, but the ending was probably like one of those things, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't the best adaptation, but it had great concepts and an interesting world, and I'm happy to see we're finally getting Golden Compass Brotherhood and getting an accurate adaptation of the series. And it's got a lot of surprisingly, like, I saw James McAvoy and like, he's in this? Lin-Manuel Miranda's in this? The girl from Logan, who was X-23, is in this? Like, there's a lot of familiar faces and a very interesting concept of, you know, being connected to an animal. It's just a super cool idea, and it's weird because I thought this was like a children's book series, but HBO is adapting it. So is it meant for kids? Because I know it was super dark, but I thought it was still a kid's thing, but maybe not. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's definitely my most, well, it's close with that in Westworld, but HBO is actually getting a lot of cool things to try to, you know, fill the Game of Thrones hole, but I probably still won't watch any of these until I get that account. Straw sucks. Next one, Picard. This is my last movie/TV section, and